In 1491, North America was home to over 10 million people. Far from an empty wilderness, the continent was a densely populated arena of human interaction and environmental engineering. Continent-wide trade networks linked these groups, moving raw materials like Great Lakes copper, Gulf Coast shells, and Rocky Mountain obsidian across thousands of miles. Despite this deep interconnectedness, the cultures across the landmass were highly distinct, ranging from mobile, egalitarian bands to massive, stratified urban centers. This diversity is the result of a push and pull between environmental determinism, where geography sets the rules for survival, and active agency, which is how humans manage and modify those same landscapes. To understand the origins of American history, we have to look at how these different physical landscapes shaped the specific survival strategies and social structures of its first civilizations. We begin in the Great Basin and the Western Great Plains, environments defined by extreme aridity and a lack of predictable water. This scarcity of fertile soil made traditional crop cultivation impossible. Human survival in these regions required a total adaptation to the unpredictable movements of wild resources. Groups like the Sioux, Apache, and Ute adapted to these constraints by developing specialized mobile lifestyles, tracking the seasonal patterns of migrating big game. Before European contact, this hunting happened entirely on foot. These societies utilized portable, skin-covered teepees and dog-drawn travois to carry their belongings across the grasslands, maintaining high mobility in a landscape with few permanent resources. Geographic scarcity mandates this kind of movement. When a group cannot stay in one place to farm, they rarely develop centralized power, instead favoring decentralized political structures, where decisions are made by consensus. Now, look further south to the canyons and valleys of the American Southwest. On the surface, this environment appears just as dry and resource-poor as the Great Basin, but the spread of high-yield maize cultivation from present-day Mexico changed the region's development. Corn provided a predictable, storable caloric staple that could support a permanent population. Southwest groups used active agency to grow this crop, engineering over 500 miles of irrigation canals to bend the desert hydrology to their needs, diverting river water directly to their fields. This reliable food surplus allowed people to abandon mobility. They built multi-story stone and adobe structures with deep cellars for grain storage and circular rooms for communal meetings. Architecture like Pueblo illustrates this adaptation, built high atop sandstone mesas for defensive protection and thermal insulation against the desert's extreme temperature swings. An agricultural surplus is a driver of social complexity. It frees labor from daily food gathering, enabling the development of specialized artisans, rigid social classes, and permanent urbanization. Moving east into the Mississippi River Valley and the Northeast, climate stability and fertile soils establish different requirements for survival. In the Midwest, the Mississippian culture used agricultural success to build Cahokia. At its peak, this fortified city held up to 20,000 residents, larger than contemporary London, and was dominated by over 100 massive earthen ceremonial mounds. In the temperate forests of the Northeast, a hybrid economy of farming and foraging supported permanent, fortified villages of large wood-frame longhouses. This environment supported the development of the Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois, Confederacy. This was a political alliance that united 5 distinct nations under a representative council and a formal constitution known as the Great Law of Peace. These longhouse societies were matrilineal. Lineage was traced through the female line, and elder clan mothers held the authority to both appoint and remove the male chiefs who sat on the central council. Environmental abundance provides a foundation for more than just dense cities. It allows for the creation of complex democratic institutions that developed entirely independent of European influence. We finish in the wet rainforests of the Pacific Northwest coast, a region that breaks the standard rules of historical development. Is traditional crop cultivation the only way a society can achieve extreme wealth and permanent settlement? The Chinook people generated a massive food surplus without practicing agriculture. They utilized the temperate climate and the predictable annual migrations of salmon and marine life. This marine abundance funded permanent cedar plank house villages and a highly stratified social hierarchy of nobles, commoners, and enslaved people, validated through elaborate feasts called potlatches. Geography offers multiple paths to civilization. Immense natural marine wealth can drive social complexity and permanent settlement just as effectively as the farming of maize. In the centuries before European arrival, North America developed into a mosaic of specialized civilizations. Indigenous people were active managers of their landscapes, engineering irrigation canals, building massive mound cities, and using controlled forest burnings to shape ecosystems. Recognizing this pre-existing complexity changes our understanding of the year 1492. Arrival meant encountering ancient political alliances, established trade networks, and dense urban populations. These regional adaptations defined the specific conditions that incoming Europeans had to navigate, from the Spanish exploiting established Pueblo agriculture to the French building their fur trade upon existing Northeast alliances.